So we're in Psalm 15, and we're just cracking it open to unpack it. Um, the it opens with question. Remember, who may dwell in your sacred tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? And then David, who wrote this psalm, goes on to answer that question. Verse 2: the one whose walk is blameless and who does what is righteous. We talked about these two things last time. If you are blameless, you're going to do what's right. Because the only way you can truly be blameless is to do what's right. Just makes sense, but it's not a small chore. It's difficult living a blameless life. Well, and then he goes on and says, who speaks the truth from their heart. We live in a world where truth has become fuzzy. No, let me rephrase that. Truth has not become fuzzy, but culture has fuzzed it. Probably one of the more famous people who has spoken about the fuzziness of truth is Oprah. And she, at an award ceremony, clinging to the trophy, said, you need to live by your truth. There is no such thing as your truth. Either it is true or it is not. Yeah, you can have lots of opinions about the truth. You can interpret the truth and apply the truth, and sometimes the same truth can be applied in many different ways. But the truth doesn't change. My circumstances, they change almost continually. But the truth never changes. If the truth were to change, it couldn't be the truth. I grew up in the 60s, and there was just the inkling of a bit of a teeny movement. Now the movement was already well in progress in academia and graduate level university circles, that truth was relative, and it of course, and this is not conspiracy theory. This is just sociology. It began in graduate studies, and a lot of times it's pointed back to Germany, and then it made its way across to us, and then it started leaking a trickle-down effect until today. Truth is mocked. It's your truth. Find your truth. Live your truth. And this is in elementary school. Well, if truth is relative, then it explains a whole lot of the nonsense and nuttiness that's happening in our world, in our culture, in America, where you live, where I live. If truth is relative, then how do we establish a standard for what is right and what is wrong? You can't. Then it becomes absolutely situational. So there's no distinct line between what is good and what is evil, what is right and what is wrong. We in terms of truth in America today, apparently we live in a vast gray wasteland. If you're on social media, don't spend too much time there. But right now, all you have to do is click open your social media, and you're going to get a gob of postings about the hearings that are going on in Washington, D.C. One of the difficulties, in my opinion, about these hearings is when the context for these hearings is as it is, in my opinion, set within a worldview that believes that truth is relative and situational. You can hear, these hearings can go on for, and they're going to, for months. Won't matter. It really won't matter. Because if there's not some form of absolute, objective truth, then it becomes a matter of your truth versus my truth. Can you tell I am not a fan of that idea? A lot of postmodernism is founded on the idea that truth is relative. It's fluid. No, it's not. Truth is truth. And if it is truth, it is true. If it's not true, it's not truth. Part of me wants to just ask, were you dropped on your head as an infant? What's wrong here? The Bible, for a believer and follower of Jesus, the Bible is our source book for truth. Is it the only place we'll find truth? Well, no, it doesn't claim to be. It does claim to be the truth. And Jesus himself said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I think I could go deeply into that phrasing and spend a long time. He's the way. We talked about the way. It's the path. This is the road we travel. He is the way. The way, not a way. The way. He is the road to the right destination. The truth. Well, have you ever, I doubt if you ever have, gotten a misprinted map? I never have. But what if the map said it was to Las Vegas, on the heading, but it was actually a map of Reno? Or you pick two cities, but the point is, if I'm looking for an address in Las Vegas, but I'm looking at a Reno map, I'll never get there. I can't find the way. Jesus said he is the way, the truth. You see, the truth, it matters. And well, you can tell. This is a bunny trail from a bunny trail from another bunny trail, but it matters because truth is the North Star for life. It does us no good to found our life on interesting ideas unless those ideas are directly connected to truth. And whenever they're demonstrated to be not directly connected to truth, then we need to break away from them and figure out what is truth. Francis Schaeffer said, all truth is God's truth. I agree. I'm sure if he were alive, that would make him feel so good that I agree with him. But he's right. All truth. We're discovering new truths scientifically, but we're not. And when those discoveries are made, we are adjusting what we view as truth on a scientific level. Yeah, what we're doing is we're pursuing truth. Now, real science, in my opinion, will always be a pursuit of actual truth through a process of verification and observation. Okay, all truth is God's truth. Truth doesn't change. My perception of it, my understanding of it, yeah, that changes. But truth doesn't change. And David says, the one who can live on God's holy hill, the one who can dwell in his sacred tent, well, his walk is blameless. He does what is righteous. He or she speaks the truth from the heart. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty on this. When I speak the truth from my heart, what does that mean? Because I thought truth was much more intellectual than emotional. Well, for the Jew in David's day, the heart was the seat of your will, of your affections, of your intentions. So when I speak the truth from my heart, I'm speaking it from the depth of my being. Now, I can't speak it from there unless it resides there. I know this is like, duh, but I think we sometimes lose track of the fact that if I'm going to speak the truth from my heart, I'm going to have the truth in my heart. And for us today, as believers and followers of Jesus, the best way I know of to get the truth to reside in me, deeply in me, in my heart, is I have to encounter and devour the word of truth, Scripture. A lot of transactional life is one of the big assumptions is that when I tell you something, I would be telling you the truth. If you don't have that confidence, then you don't have a basis for any kind of depth in relationship. And we live in a world where the truth is not spoken clearly and often. I'm not being political. I'm just telling you. Authorities in life, in our world, play fast and loose with the truth. And what David is talking about is a person whose life is founded on truth. And so what they say is true. There's no room for a white lie or for a little bend of the truth. That's not true anymore. David's talking about an individual who, when they tell you something, you can count on it as truth. Now, I'm not perfect, so there are a lot of things I say from my heart as truth, and then I discover, oops, that's not exactly right. Okay, and I go back and I somehow I reopen the subject and say, I was wrong about that. Here's what is true. But my motive, what's in me, is truth. And what's in me will come out of me. I want to speak the truth from my heart. Paul, when he writes to the Ephesians, he says, speak the truth in love. Pretty direct connection there. So the challenge is, I got to get truth in. You got to get truth in so that truth can come out. See you next time on So Care with Stevie Boy.